Looked at Heather, I said, man, Shiesty just went back to jail. Hey, what'd he do? I said, this nigga robbed Gucci.
No, man, come on, man. I don't want to drive this shit, man. I don't be wanting to drive. I don't be wanting to do this shit, man. I'm a low-key nigga, man. I'm a motherfucking nigga. I'm more of a Slim from Cash Money than a Birdman type nigga, though. But, you know, I get on my Birdman shit, though.
Evidence, including videos, shows Pooh Shiesty or Big 30 had a gun or threatened Gucci Mane in an alleged Dallas kidnapping robbery.
Big 30 suddenly attack on Pooh Shiesty? Or is there more to this story than what people are saying? That's the question taking over social media right now, after rumors started spreading about a heated moment tied to their ongoing federal case. According to viral posts, Big 30 allegedly blamed Pooh Shiesty for everything, claiming he ended up behind bars because of him.
Big 30 really sitting back in jail going through withdrawals. That's just what's going on. Big 30 right now looking at his whole life right before his eyes because he wanted to be in the way.
It's the kind of statement that instantly flips the narrative from loyalty to betrayal. But here's where things get interesting. Right as these rumors started gaining traction, a real courtroom update dropped and it changed everything. Big 30 wasn't being locked away like many expected. Instead, a judge made a surprising decision that could reshape his future. Now add in whispers about Gucci Mane being connected to the case, prison rumors spreading behind the scenes, and even outside voices trying to insert themselves into the drama. And suddenly, this isn't just a legal situation anymore. It's turning into one of the most talked about controversies in hip-hop right now. And if you think that alleged courtroom moment is the full story, it's not even close.
He doesn't have a criminal history, he doesn't have a criminal record. He's been making music for a number of years. He and Pooh Shiesty kind of came up in the music game together, and they were sort of like, they're very close, and they made, you know, some magical music. I just hope that people will wait to pass judgment on Rodney and these other individuals until all the facts come out.
Just when it looked like things were closing in on Big 30, the courtroom delivered a twist nobody saw coming. Rodney Wright Jr., better known as Big 30, was granted a $100,000 bond during a federal hearing meeting instead of sitting behind bars. He's been given a chance to remain out under strict supervision.
Rapper with the stage name Big 30 was granted a $100,000 bond today. He was in federal court as he faced charges for an alleged robbery and kidnapping of the rapper known as Gucci Mane.
But this isn't freedom in the way most people would think. The judge ordered him to remain on full home detention, with constant location monitoring tracking his every move. His travel is locked down to West Tennessee, with the only exception being required, court appearances in Dallas. On top of that, he's been cut off from any contact with co-defendants, placed under pretrial supervision, and must comply with regular testing while staying completely clear of weapons or illegal substances. So while he's technically out, every step he takes is being watched. And here's the part that caught people's attention. Despite all these restrictions, he's still allowed to work. That means Big 30 can continue making music, stay active in his career, and keep his name alive in the industry while fighting a federal case at the same time. But there's a catch. Prosecutors are already expected to push back, with his own attorney admitting an appeal could be filed at any moment. If that happens, Big 30 could be right back in court fighting to keep the same freedom he just gained. So while this looks like a win on the surface, it could be temporary.
And then today in the detention hearing, she did grant him a bond of a secure bond of $100,000. U.S. Attorney's Office in the Northern District of Dallas is going to file an appeal. And they're going to appeal the judge's decision, and we will have to have another detention hearing in Texas.
And that uncertainty is exactly what's making people look deeper into what really happened behind the scenes. Because once you understand the case tying all of this together, the tension starts to make a lot more sense. At the center of all this is a federal case that's carrying serious weight and even more serious consequences. Pooh Shiesty is currently facing major accusations tied to an alleged robbery and kidnapping situation connected to a Dallas studio incident. According to reports, multiple individuals were involved, and Big 30's name surfaced as one of the alleged co-conspirators tied to the situation.
These individuals who are charged and arrested include Lontrell Williams Jr., also known as Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big 30.
What makes this even more explosive is the rumored connection to Gucci Mane. While details remain complicated and not everything has been publicly confirmed, his name being linked in any way instantly raised the stakes and pulled even more attention into the case. And the potential outcome isn't small. If convicted, Pooh Shiesty could be facing a minimum of 5 years and potentially much more. That kind of pressure doesn't just affect the courtroom. It affects relationships, loyalty, and how every move is perceived from the outside. Suddenly, fans aren't just watching a legal case, they're trying to figure out who knew what, who said what, and whether anyone is being blamed behind closed doors. And with that kind of pressure building from every direction, it didn't take long for people to start pointing fingers. But what started as quiet speculation quickly turned into something much louder and much harder to control. As the case started gaining attention, one specific claim took over the conversation and it spread fast. Some reports and social media pages began pushing a story that Big 30 directly confronted Pooh Shiesty during a court-related moment. Not just tension, but a full emotional reaction. The kind of moment people replay in their heads because it sounds too intense to ignore. At the center of it all is one line that went completely viral. "I'm in prison because of SU Wuth." That quote alone was enough to shift how fans saw everything. Suddenly, this wasn't just a legal situation, it felt personal. It hinted at betrayal, pressure, and possible cracks in what people once thought was a solid connection. But here's where things need to be separated from the noise. There is no confirmed public record, transcript, or verified report that proves those exact words were ever said in a courtroom. No official documentation, no direct footage, just a wave of posts, reactions, and reposts that kept building momentum. And that's exactly how stories like this take off. Because in today's internet culture, a headline doesn't need proof to travel. It just needs attention. Once people start repeating it, adding emotion to it, and connecting it to an already intense situation, it begins to feel real whether it is or not. And the reason this particular rumor hits so hard is because it didn't come out of nowhere. Fans had already been watching closely. They noticed the silence, the distance, the lack of visible connection between the two. So when this claim surfaced, it didn't feel random, it felt like confirmation, and that's what gave it power. But once you start looking at the bigger picture, you realize this situation goes way beyond just those two names. Right when things couldn't get more complicated, another name entered the conversation, and it changed everything. Gucci Mane. Now, according to circulating reports and speculation, Gucci Mane is believed by some to be connected to the situation at the center of the case. That alone was enough to send shockwaves through both the industry and the streets because of what he represents, not just as an artist, but as someone who helped build careers. Almost immediately, questions started flying. Did he cooperate? Was there paperwork? Did he play a role behind the scenes? And to be clear, there is no confirmed public evidence showing that Gucci Mane has cooperated with authorities in this case. Nothing official has surfaced to support those claims, but that didn't stop the speculation. Because once his name appeared in the conversation, the narrative took on a life of its own. Then came the prison rumors. Stories began circulating that some inmates were reacting negatively to the situation, with viral clips showing individuals throwing away Gucci Mane posters. Now, whether that represents a widespread reaction or just isolated moments is unclear, but the symbolism was enough to fuel even more debate. And what makes this even more intense is the history. Gucci Mane was the one who helped elevate Pooh Shiesty under the 10-7 label during one of the strongest runs of his career. At one point, their connection looked like a perfect example of an established figure bringing up the next generation. Now, that same relationship is being questioned from every angle. From mentor to a name possibly tied to the case, the narrative flipped fast. And through it all, Gucci has stayed quiet. No major statements, no public back and forth, just silence while everything around him keeps getting louder. But if you thought that was the peak of the chaos, it wasn't. Because then someone else stepped in and took the situation in a completely different direction. Just as the situation was already spiraling, 6ix9ine decided to insert himself into the middle of it, and that added a whole new layer of controversy. Fresh off his own release, he went live and made a bold claim that instantly grabbed attention. According to him, Pooh Shiesty's label allegedly paid him to stream his music, with the idea of helping generate money to support legal expenses tied to the case. It was a statement designed to go viral, and it did.
Don't believe no one. But bro, this is literally how the feds work.
Yeah.
It's not regular old person that lives in a It's literally the United States of America government. It says on your paperwork, even if Pooh Shiesty wins this, right? Even just say Pooh Shiesty beats this case, he has to face a federal violations under probation. That's up to 5 years. Kidnapping and a charge, it's A spec. I had C specs. I never got a new charge. So he's gonna go anywhere from 0 to 5 years.
Minimum. So no matter what, because he violated house arrest.
He caught a new case. He caught a new charge.
I get it.
You get it?
I get it.
There's one major issue. No proof was provided. No receipts. No documentation, just a claim delivered at a moment when all eyes were already on this situation. And because of 6ix9ine's history, people were split on how to take it. Some saw it as another attempt to stay relevant by attaching himself to a trending story. Others believed there could be something deeper behind it. Either way, it worked. Because now, the conversation wasn't just about a courtroom or a rumored confrontation or even Gucci Mane's involvement. It had expanded into something bigger, something messier. And the contrast made everything even more intense. On one side, you have 6ix9ine fresh out, rebuilding, and finding ways to stay in the spotlight. On the other, Pooh Shiesty is facing a legal situation that could impact his future for years. Two completely different positions, connected by the same headline. And at this point, the story is no longer just about facts. It's about perception, influence, and who controls the narrative. Because now, this isn't just a legal case anymore. It's turning into a full industry spectacle. While the internet runs with headlines and rumors, Big 30's legal team is trying to control a very different narrative inside the courtroom. His attorney came forward after the hearing and made it clear this isn't how they see him at all. According to the defense, Big 30 doesn't have a felony record. And since stepping into the music industry, he stayed on a focused path. They described him as someone who's been active in his community, supporting people around him and building a career instead of tearing it down. That image stands in sharp contrast to how his name is being discussed online. But even with that defense, the situation is far from settled. Federal prosecutors are expected to challenge the judge's decision to grant bond, which means this brief moment of relief could be taken away just as quickly. If that appeal goes through, Big 30 could find himself right back in another high-stakes hearing this time, potentially in Texas, where the case continues to unfold. And that's where things get even more uncertain. Because one of the biggest questions hanging over this entire case is whether the government can actually prove everything they're claiming, especially without a cooperating witness. Cases like this often depend on inside testimony, and right now, that piece of the puzzle feels unclear. That brings the attention right back to Gucci Mane. Despite all the speculation, he has publicly indicated that he is not cooperating with authorities. And if that remains true, it could complicate things for the prosecution moving forward. Without someone directly connecting all the dots, the case could become much harder to prove than people expect. So now everything is sitting in a strange position. Big 30 is out but restricted. Pooh Shiesty is facing serious time. Gucci Mane is silent but still central to the conversation. And the outcome? Still completely uncertain. So where does that leave everyone involved? At this point, the situation feels less like a straightforward case and more like a storm of narratives colliding all at once. You have the viral courtroom rumors suggesting tension between Big 30 and Pooh Shiesty claims that spread fast, even without confirmation. At the same time, there's the very real twist of Big 30 securing house arrest, giving him a chance to keep his career alive while everything plays out. Then there's the growing speculation surrounding Gucci Mane, a figure who once helped build this entire movement, now being pulled into conversations that are still full of unanswered questions. Add in the prison rumors, the shifting public perception, and the silence from key people involved, and the tension only gets heavier. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get more chaotic, 6ix9ine stepped in and added fuel to the fire, turning an already serious situation into something even bigger something. The entire industry is now watching closely. But through all of it, one question keeps coming back. Is Big 30 really blaming Pooh Shiesty behind closed doors, or is this another viral story that spiraled out of control before anyone could stop it? Right now, there's no clear answer. Just speculation, pressure, and a case that's still unfolding. And one thing is certain, when the truth finally comes out in court, it could change everything we thought we knew about this situation. Let us know your thoughts in comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like this video to support the channel. Subscribe to Hollyhyde TV for the latest updates, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Until next time, peace out.